So let's talk about what actually happened in the market this week. Because if you just watch the news, you might think the market is crashing. But what's really happening is that the market is repricing risk. So first thing we saw was oil exploding higher. Oil pushed, all the way up near the $90 level, and that move didn't, come out of nowhere. So that's the market reacting to geopolitical tension and potential supply disruption. So whenever oil moves like that, it's immediately raising inflation concerns. Now the second thing happened, after this week was volatility. The VIX spike closed to the 30 level, and that's a big deal because once the VIX get above 22, it usually means institutions are starting to hedge risk. And when volatility rises, equities, usually struggle. And if you look at the S&P, we actually saw, a strong rejection and structure is starting to, shift lower. So that doesn't mean the market is collapsing, but it does mean the market is starting to, price uncertainty. At the same time, gold has been, holding strong, which is another, signal that investors are moving towards a safe asset. And then we have the dollar starting to bounce as well, which usually, happens when global risk increases. So right now, the big picture is simple. The market, is balancing inflation, risk, geopolitical tension, and rising, volatility all at the same time. And when those three things, things collide, markets don't move slowly; they move, aggressively. So the big question is going into next week is whether volatility stays elevated and whether oil continues pushing higher. Because if those, things continue, we could see a lot more moving across, the entire market. So to dive into a little more deeper, we're going to dive into the charts, and that we can trade smarter next week.
All right, welcome to another market breakdown for those who want to be able to trade smart into the next trading week. So this is a shorter version for those who have a short attention span. If you want the longer version, then go watch my longer content version, more going deeper into the charts. So this is the VIX. The VIX did close way above 22, and right now we're at 29. When the VIX closed above 22, that means there's uncertainty in the market. And then we have S&P. S&P, let's go to S&P. S&P finally made this transitioning of seeing price push down. So right now this did close bearish on the week, so we expect price to retrace up a little bit and to continue pushing down into this direction. Oil spiked up to $92 per barrel, so we are very close, very strong. So we expect oil to continue to push. We are at a resistance, so it's gonna be interesting how to react here. But overall, I expect oil to keep on pushing unless it change. DXY. And then we have the US dollar. US dollar, we are in a range bound, but if US dollar can make it above 99.879, we could be seeing US dollar continue to push up higher. So it really just depends on how it react at this resistant level. And then lastly, we have gold. Gold did, close bearish, but as long as it stay above, the 5,000 level, we could be seeing gold reach up to 6,000. And that's my daily market breakdown. See you next market breakdown. Peace.